set, go!
Okay, so this is your physical changes in matter notes for page 5 in your INB. Your focus questions to write up at the top are, what is a physical change in matter? And explain how a phase change is a physical change. If you need to pause this to write that down, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. All right, so physical changes in matter. So a physical change in matter is how matter can change form, but still remain the same substance. So, and we've talked about this before, it changes, but it's still the same substance. So for instance, in this picture, ice, water, and water vapor, it's all water. So these are all just water, they're just in different physical forms. So phase changes is an example of a physical change in matter. Okay, another example of this, and I can't move my picture out of the way, sorry about that, is crushing. So the substance keeps its physical and chemical properties. When you crush something, it's still the same substance. It has the same color, odor, the same chemical makeup, the same density. I don't know what that person is crushing in the picture, but it's just a chemical, or I'm sorry, it's just a physical change. So it's still the exact same thing. And there you go, physical change. Another example is tearing. So again, that word that gets cut off there is tearing. Again, it's still the same substance. So here you see a piece of paper that got torn. Still paper. It is a physical change. All right. Phase changes are physical changes. So in this diagram, you can see that it is going from a solid to a liquid to a gas. And you see these arrows going back and forth, and then up in the top right hand corner, I put a picture of fire, and that represents heat. So when you add heat to a solid, it melts. So if you follow the arrow down at the bottom between solid and liquid, adding heat to a solid causes it to melt into a liquid. Adding heat to a liquid causes it to vaporize into a gas. So you follow the arrow up into, actually I can turn my little pointer on here. So there we go, that's better. So adding heat to a solid causes it to melt into a liquid. Adding heat to a liquid causes it to vaporize into a gas. All right, now, if you remove heat, sorry, that's the baby in the background. If you remove heat, so remove heat from a gas, it does have the possibility of going directly back into a solid. Likewise, like in the case of dry ice, you can go, like dry ice is it's a solid, so it's a solid at room solid, like when you get it very cold, it's actually a solid very far below zero. So when you take it out and put it at room temperature and you raise the temperature that quickly, it will automatically turn into a gas. That process is called sublimation. So you know how dry ice will fog up when you take it out? That is sublimation. Okay, when you remove heat from a gas and turn it into a liquid, so gas to a liquid is condensation. That happens up in the clouds. When you remove heat from a liquid and turn it into a solid, that is freezing. Okay, and that completes the cycle. We should show this in a graph form as well. So here we have a solid. The particles are close together, vibrating closely together. Adding heat, it melts into a liquid. Particles are a little bit more spread out, moving a little bit more quickly. And then you hit the vaporization temperature. It vaporizes and turns into a gas, and that is up here. where the particles are much more spread out. All right, you can go the opposite way as well, and you can remove heat from a gas, and that is condensation, and turn it back into a liquid. And then you can remove heat from the liquid and turn it back into a solid down here. So again, this is actually called a heating curve. So we're going to be talking more about this in the next unit, but I wanted to at least introduce it to you. Just notice that here at the bottom we have a solid. Here in the middle on the diagonal we have a liquid, and up here on the diagonal we have a gas. And then the phase changes are happening on the plateaus, or the flat lines between each diagonal here. And that is what I needed to point out to you, at least at this stage. And for now, that is okay. Needed to get that into page 5 of your notes, and do the summary and answer the 2 summary questions, or the 2 focus questions, and we will do the opposite page, page 4, in the next lesson. Thanks.